As many of you know, I do respond to comments on my YouTube videos. While I'm still not that big a channel, I want to be able to use that to engage with my community. This comment was about the Logging Locos that infamously first appeared in Misty Island Rescue. Now, a lot of the fans don't like these characters, understandably so, but in this comment it said that me and many of the fans wouldn't put our dislike aside of them for a few minutes to think about the potential with these characters. And it got me thinking, are the Logging Locos underappreciated, or do they get justifiable hate like most of the fandom give them? So I'm going to do my best to try and put my own feelings on them aside for a few minutes and discuss it. So once again, these are all my own personal opinions. Your thoughts will probably be different from mine. It's one thing that makes the Thomas fandom so unique. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the Logging Locos. In this case, I definitely ask that you keep it respectful, and above all, enjoy the video. Okay, let's dive in. And we'll start with a brief description of who the Logging Locos are, for any normies that might be new to the channel. The Logging Locos consist of Bash, Dash, and Ferdinand, who Thomas found on Misty Island in the movie Misty Island Rescue. Bash and Dash are based on the Bear Harbour Lumber Company locomotives. These type of engines were known as gypsies, which had a special yarding mechanism at the engine's front, allowing it to haul logs when the gear is engaged. Ferdinand is based on a Climax Class C geared logging locomotive, and Ferdinand's been slightly modified from his basis with buffers and a screw link coupling. Bash and Dash are described as wacky, mischievous, and know each other so well that they can finish each other's sentences. They almost never argue or disagree, unlike other twin characters in the series. Ferdinand is described as a gentle giant, and is known to come across as simple-minded and quiet, but nevertheless he's just as fun and wacky as Bash and Dash. He's considerate, inquisitive, and has a big heart. Bash and Dash's last appearance was in The Christmas Tree Express in 2012, and Ferdinand last appeared in Signals Crossed in 2014. Reception to these engines were less than stellar. A lot of the fandom don't like these characters. They see them as very annoying, and everything that sums up what was wrong with the nitrogen era of Thomas and Friends. Pandered to kids, very silly, quite unrealistic. Well, did they know how bad it would get? And all engines go. But they could be seen as the template of what's to come with that series, and were quickly forgotten about when we got into the Andrew Brenner era and Bwaba. Now, people think that I have like a huge dislike for Bash, Dash and Ferdinand. But if you've watched some of my content, you'll realise that though I find them annoying, and I do have a bit of a dislike for them, I don't outright hate them, at some points I actually thought they were okay. But the times when I thought that they were best used was when they were split up in season 15. Because this is when we got to actually see the personalities of these characters and figure out what made them tick. In Emily and Dash, Emily has to escort Dash to a steam fair, but straight up leaves him behind. In Toby and Bash, Toby tries to find Bash a home on Sodor, but Bash just wants to go home to Misty Island. And in Gordon and Ferdinand, Gordon is embarrassed to be seen with Ferdinand while delivering the line of Sodor. All these episodes spotlight an individual trait of the characters that we can see potential in. Dash is wanting to receive a reward for being really useful, so it shows that he's hardworking. And his warbling whistle is so impressive that Emily keeps wanting to try and do it, but in turn, it actually knackers Dash. So it shows that he is a bit of a people pleaser. In Toby and Bash, you find out that Bash is very sensitive. He's homesick. For him, there is no place like home. They try to make him feel at home on Sodor, but at the end of the day, that's not where he belongs, and he knows that. It's an admirable trait to have. I recognised it in myself, because I'm a home bird. I don't like travelling, and I'll always know wherever my home is, it's where my family are. In this case, Dash and Ferdinand are his family. And then Gordon and Ferdinand, you actually hear more out of Ferdinand than the catchphrase that's being rammed down your throats with him. That was why a lot of people didn't like Ferdinand. All you heard was his "that's right" catchphrase. But there's more to Ferdinand, and this episode showed it. Not just in the fact that he said more, but you saw that he was quite quiet, caring. Several times he tries to warn Gordon about slowing down. Gordon doesn't want to slow down because he doesn't want to be seen with him. It comes back and bites him in the tender. And I think because we only knew them as a threesome, that all their qualities get ramped up to 11 as a result of it. Having these episodes in season 15 where they split them up was a good thing. It showed that there was character potential. But you'll only associate them with Misty Island, so you always have to have them together. And it wasn't a good thing. I'm going to do something that I don't normally do when it comes to these suggestion videos. One of the points raised was that they could be working in the timber mill near Henry's forest. I personally think that's a great place to have these locals, if they wanted them to be permanent mainstays on Sodor. I also think that would be a good character pairing, having the logging locals with a bigger engine like Henry. Henry loves the forest, Misty Island would be an ideal location for him. You even see in one of the episodes our hero goes to Misty Island because he's missing home in Japan. So I'm not saying that there wasn't potential with these characters. There's potential with every character in this franchise. It's all about how you use them that's the problem. And it's highlighted in the point that was made. You have to tone down their quirks, because that's all these characters were known for. They flanderized the fact that Bash and Dash just finished each other's sentences and were a bit hyperactive. And oh boy did they flanderize that "that's right" catchphrase with Ferdinand. But the person who made this comment is very right about their character personalities. Bash is quite timid and peaceful. Dash is outgoing and supportive. And Ferdinand does have more to say than just "that's right." So it does make it more meaningful when he does say something more than that, because you listen to him. Now with character tweaks, these could have been great characters to the franchise. Unlucky Tug proved that in one of his videos. And I would like to see more Bash, Dash and Ferdinand fan content around this premise. Because one thing that this Thomas and Friends community can do is take characters that weren't exactly given good treatment by writers and turn them into more beloved, interesting and complex characters. So do I think the logging locals really are underappreciated? At first I thought no, because they were just generic one-note characters that were there to sell toys to the baby toddler audience and then never be seen again. But after I got this comment and had a bit more thought to it, then yes, I do think the logging locals are underappreciated. I even went back and rewatched those season 15 episodes with them in it and really thought about their characters. And it shows you that when they split them up, there was more layers to them and more potential that needed to be explored. But sadly, by that point in the franchise's Nitrogen era run, the damage was already done. Let me know in the comments what you think of the logging locals, and until next time, keep on chugging.